Hey everyone, I hope you're well. This is the story about what if Naruto was kidnapped and became a Kumo Shinobi. Before we start, please subscribe to the channel and like the video as well. So without any further ado, let's start the what if. You old bastard! Naruto leapt up and attacked Jiraiya with a barrage of punches that the elder shinobi easily dodged. What the hell are you doing? We need him to give us the key to the seal. This bastard abandoned me. I promised myself I'd kick his ass if I ever met him. Idiot child. Naruto kept throwing punch after punch at Jiraiya, ignoring Kurama. Eventually, Jiraiya got bored and decided to end Naruto's foolish little tantrum. In one swift motion, he grabbed Naruto by the arm and twisted it to the ground. Calm down. If this is the way you're going to act, then I won't give you the key. Naruto heard this and stopped struggling. Jiraiya let him go when he was sure he was fully calmed. You talked to the old man already? Naruto finally asked after a few moments of silence. Yes. I know that you and the fox have become partners and that you only need the key in order to unleash its full power. Well then, are you going to give it to me? I was thinking about it, but after that stunt you just pulled, I'm not so sure. Screw you, old man. You abandoned me and you don't expect me to want to kick your ass? Would you rather I had taken you with me? Constantly moving, constantly in danger, never staying in one place long enough to make friends? That's no life for a child. At least here you had a small chance for a normal childhood. Don't try and make excuses. My parents trusted you and you betrayed them. My so-called godfather left me in some god-forsaken orphanage, and then with that snake bastard. Jiraiya tensed up at the mention of his old teammate. These past few years I've dedicated to finding Orochimaru. Ever since I learned that he was the one who took you. Is that supposed to make me feel better? I swear I heard something. I think someone is out here. A female voice was heard in the hot springs. It seems the two's conversation was loud enough to draw the attention of the women inside, and some of them were coming out to investigate. This gave Naruto a devilish idea. He quickly performed his signature sexy jutsu to transform into his usual female persona. This time she was dressed in only a towel and looked like a normal hot spring patron. A small group of women came out of the hot spring and saw the now transformed Naruto and Jiraiya. I don't care how much money you'll pay me. I'm not going to your hotel room. The female Naruto screamed at Jiraiya. What the hell's going on here? The group of women all yelled in unison. Damn it! Jiraiya knew from experience that he was in for hell if he stayed. He quickly tossed a smoke bomb on the ground and was gone before the women even knew what was going on. Are you okay there, sweetie? One of the more maternal women asked the female Naruto. Yes. Thank you for chasing that awful man away. He was trying to get me to come to his hotel room to film a dirty movie. I told him I was saving myself for my wedding night, but he was really insistent and grabby. Well, you're okay now, sweetie. I'm glad we came out when we did. Naruto thanked the women again and they all left. When he thought he was alone, he undid the jutsu. Well, that was fun. Better go find the old bastard so we can finish our talk. Naruto turned to leave, but his face was suddenly smothered by something. It didn't take Naruto long to realize what he just walked into. His face was deep in between a luscious pair of all-natural breasts. He looked up to see the face attached to whatever goddess he just walked into, only to realize that it was instead a demon. He saw the evil smile of Anko Mitarashi staring down at him. Her attractive body only covered by a small towel that just barely covered her privates. That transformation of yours is phenomenal. If I hadn't seen it during the exams, I would never have known who you were. Am I gonna die now? Naruto asked with fear evident in his voice. Of course not. You're just curious after all. Speaking of curiosity, I'm a little curious about you. What about me? Let's walk and talk. Anko started walking to the dressing room and motioned for Naruto to follow her. He stood outside the room as she changed back into her clothes. I've been curious about you ever since you helped Hinata get away from me in the tower. What exactly are you trying to do with her? Are you one of those hopeless romantic types? Did you fall in love with her at first sight or some sentimental bullshit like that? Or maybe you're the kind of guy who likes to hit it and quit it. Whatever the case, I just want to let you know something. I've taken a real liking to that girl. Think of me as the crazy big sister she never knew she had. If you do anything to hurt her, I'll make sure you regret it. I'll turn you into a real woman, no jutsu required. You catch my drift? Yes, ma'am. You don't have to worry. I really like Hinata and I don't want to do anything stupid to mess it up. If you're serious, then here's a piece of advice. Keep it a secret. Relationships between two shinobi of different villages aren't illegal if the two villages have a treaty, but they're still looked down on. Speaking from experience, my first time was with a man from the Hidden Mist. Since then I've had a taste of the men and women from practically every single village in this whole wide shinobi world. You don't seem the least bit ashamed to admit that. It's not like I just jump in the sack with anyone. They have to be clean and have good manners. I don't mess around with people already in a relationship either. Unless of course, they're swingers. You'd fit in with some of my sister's friends back home. Chances are I already know them. I wouldn't be surprised. Anko walked out of the changing room fully clothed, by her standards anyway. You seem to be a nice boy. I don't mind if you keep seeing Hinata. Just know that my threat still stands. Hurt her and you won't have to worry about that thing dangling between your legs anymore. Yes, ma'am. Now, get out of here. You should be training for the next test in a month. Since my attempt at picking up some hot spring booty was so rudely interrupted by you and that old pervert's argument, I have no choice but to go find one of my regular booty calls and hope they're up to some fun. Anko turned and started walking away. Now who should I try and hook up with now? The Cyclops is probably still pissed about his team failing. I wonder if Wood Boy is in the mood today. And people think I'm crazy. Naruto thought as he watched Anko leave. Naruto, now that we're done gawking over the sexy lady, can we please go get the fucking key? Thanks to your dumbass prank, we have no idea where the fucker is now. And you know what? When we find him, I'm doing the fucking talking. I don't care how much of a bastard this guy is, we need him to give us the key. Kurama continued mentally screaming at Naruto as he jumped away to look for Jiraiya. With Hinata. Hinata and Kurenai were talking out in the garden of the Hyuga compound. I've decided to train with my caretaker Ko and Niji. I'm sorry, sensei. You have nothing to apologize for. I completely understand. Besides, it gives me more time to work on the other two. Please go easy on them, sensei. They tried their best. Shino tried his best. Kiba made an ass of himself. Anyway, can you promise me one thing, Hinata? Yes, sensei. Practice recognizing and dispelling genjutsu for me. None of the other genin showed an aptitude for genjutsu, but you can never be too careful. They may have been hiding it so they can use it in the real matches. I understand, sensei. I will ask Ko to help me work on it. Good. I should get going now. I told Shino and Kiba to hang upside down from a tree using only their chakra until I got back. That was 4 hours ago. Sensei. You only just got here. What have you been doing the past 4 hours? Well, first I did a little shopping for clothes. That lasted about an hour. I went out to eat after that. It took maybe 30 minutes. Then I ran into Asuma. He was in the mood, so I spent about 2 hours with him. Then I took a shower and came here. That took about half an hour. Shameless. Wait until you grow up, sweetie. You won't be so quick to call me shameless when you experience the warmth of a man's love. I won't be going around telling everyone about it like you and Miss Anko do. We'll see, sweetheart. We'll see. With that, Kurenai left, leaving a slightly angry Hinata by herself. I still can't believe it, but Anko was right. The way to get Hinata out of her shell is to make her angry. So simple, yet it took a psychopath like Anko to figure it out. Kurenai thought to herself as she walked back to the training grounds. Hinata walked by the family dojo on the way back to her room. She decided to pop in for a second to vent some of the anger she was experiencing. She didn't know why she would get so angry when Anko and Kurenai would tease her about sex, but she would think about that another time. She walked up to a training dummy and took her stance. With one mighty strike, she shattered the dummy's torso. I feel much better now, teehee. Happy with herself, she turned around and strolled back to her room with a smile on her face. When she left the dojo, she passed by her father, who was on his way in. She respectfully bowed and continued on her merry way. Hayashi saw the training dummy she had just destroyed and went to inspect it. This dummy was created by the wood-style user. No genin should be strong enough to destroy it. Most interesting, indeed. With Naruto. And another thing, you better not attack him again. If you do, I swear I'll rip through this seal and devour your soul. Consequences be damned. I found him. You can stop bitching now. How the hell did you find him so fast? Did you really just ask me that? Oh. I was so mad I forgot we could just sense him. Dumbass. At least I can do basic math. Fuck you. Fuck you too. Naruto had tracked Jiraiya to a small encampment near one of the training grounds. Jiraiya was sitting by a fire cooking up some fish he had caught from a nearby stream. He beckoned for Naruto to sit next to him and offered him a fish that Naruto accepted. I should be furious at you for that stunt you just pulled, but I'm not. It reminded me so much of your mother. My mom was a prankster too. Yes. Her favorite prank was using the transformation jutsu to turn into an attractive man and walk around in front of couples to expose the unfaithful women. What the hell? That's my prank. I do that all the time, except I turn into a sexy girl instead of a guy. Yes, I've heard from the third about your sexy jutsu. He said you even stunned the Uchiha boy with it. Oh yeah, that was awesome. I got his girlfriend to scream at him. Would you be willing to show me this amazing jutsu? In exchange for the key? Deal. Okay, you asked for it. Sexy Jutsu, the busty female form of Naruto, appeared wearing a small orange bikini and blew a kiss toward the perverted master ninja. Perfection. The perverted sage screamed as he took in the sight before him. This time he wasn't in danger of getting mauled by a crowd of angry hot spring patrons, so he was able to study every curve of the goddess before him. Why do you have that stupid bikini on? Take it off, I want to see everything. That wasn't the deal, Jiraiya. Maybe if you give me some more incentives, I'll be willing to go a little further. I'll let you sign the Toad contract. That's a good start, but not exactly what I had in mind. I'll teach you one of your father's secret techniques. Come on, that has to be worth it. Deal. Naruto ripped his bikini off and threw it to the wind. Jiraiya exploded in a fit of tears and started drawing a picture of the nude female form on a notepad he took out of his pocket. I have seen the promised land, and it is beyond the valley. The valley between those melon breasts. Naruto let the old pervert have his fun for a few more seconds before reverting to his normal form. No. I wasn't done yet. I wasn't able to draw her legs. Too bad. Maybe if you teach me those techniques you promised, I'll think about letting you see her again. Fine, first things first. Jiraiya took a huge scroll off of his back and opened it up on the ground. Sign the Toad contract in blood. Why can't we unlock the seal first? Because I want to make sure you are ready before I bestow upon you such power. When you master the summoning jutsu and your father's secret jutsu, I will give you the key. Not before. Fine. It'll be a piece of cake to master the summoning jutsu. I bet my dad's flying thunder god won't be that hard either. Whoa there kid, don't get ahead of yourself. I can't teach you a technique I don't know. Then what jutsu of my dad's did you plan on teaching me? I thought his only secret technique was the flying thunder god. There was one other technique your dad invented. It's called the Rasengan. Few know of it since he invented it after he became Hokage. The only two people in the world who know the technique are myself and your father's last living student. Follow me and I'll show you. Jiraiya brought Naruto to a huge tree that was as thick as an Akamichi's stomach. He held out his hand and a blue ball started to form in his palm. This is the Rasengan. Your father created it as the ultimate form of chakra shape manipulation. Chakra shape manipulation? You mean like how some people can shoot chakra out of their swords? That's one way to use shape manipulation. Another way is to cover your entire body in an aura of chakra like the Raikage is known to do. The possibilities are only limited by the imagination. So what makes the Rasengan so special? Instead of answering Naruto's question, Jiraiya slammed the Rasengan into the tree. It was almost drill-like the way it penetrated the tree and created a huge sphere-shaped hole. And that was me holding back. Whoa! You gotta teach me how to do that. Come on, pretty please. First things first. Sign the Toad contract. Once you master that, then we'll move on to the Rasengan. Okay. This summoning jutsu is gonna be easy. 1 week later. This summoning jutsu is bullshit. How many times do I have to tell you? You have to learn to control the amount of chakra you use for this jutsu. You don't want to summon a messenger when you're trying to summon a warrior, do you? I get it already. I just suck at chakra control. Well then you need to hurry up and learn. It's already been a week. The opponents you'll be going up against are no joke. You may need the assistance of the toads to defeat them. An orange-skinned toad jumped in between the two. Hey Jiraiya, lay off the kid will ya? He's trying his hardest. This is a Jonin level technique, so you can't expect a genin to master it in a week. The small toad said, trying to mediate the situation. I appreciate your concern Gamakichi, but his father already had this jutsu mastered by now and I taught it to him when he was younger than Naruto. Well, maybe you should just go find another prodigy like him to train then. Naruto stormed off, leaving Jiraiya and Gamakichi by themselves. You've really done it now, Jiraiya. The small toad hopped after Naruto, leaving Jiraiya by himself again. That boy is so much like his parents. I've got an idea on how to motivate him. With Naruto. Naruto was walking down an alley in the village. Stupid old man and his stupid jutsu. Naruto kept mumbling to himself until Gamakichi jumped onto his head, surprising him. Yo, Naruto. Don't let the old asshole get you down. You're doing great considering how hard this jutsu is. I know, but it's not enough. At this rate, I won't have the jutsu mastered by the end of the month. So Hinata, how has your training been going? A voice was heard on the other side of the fence. Naruto quickly jumped and grabbed onto the fence so he could look over. He saw Hinata talking with Sakura. Both of their backs were turned to him and they were walking away. It's been hard, but I think I'm making some progress. Hinata said. Man, I'm so jealous of you. You get to compete in the finals of the Chunin exam in your first year as a genin. Yeah, but I'm a little nervous. That sand girl seems really strong. She knocked out Choji in one shot. You're strong too, Hinata. You beat that girl with all the weapons. Ten is her name. She's been helping me train along with Niji. She's actually a really nice girl. We've started to become friends. You should invite her to our next Girls' Day. The more the merrier, I say. The two girls round the corner and disappeared from sight. Hey Naruto, who were those two girls? You looked like you knew them. They took the Chunin exams too. The pink one failed and the cute one is still in it. Oh, so you like that girl, eh? Well, yeah. I really want to impress her. That's why I want to master the jutsus that the old man is teaching me. Then what the hell are you doing here then? Get back there and show the old bastard you can do it. Yes, sir. Naruto started running at top speed back to the training grounds. Hinata is doing her best to train for the exam. So will I. Back at the training grounds. When Naruto got back to the training grounds, he found Jiraiya sitting on a rock with 2 folders in his hands. He motioned for Naruto to come over and sit next to him, which he did. People love to assume things. They hear about the 4th Hokage and his great accomplishments and assume he was some great prodigy. They couldn't be farther from the truth. Jiraiya handed one of the folders to Naruto. Naruto looked inside and discovered that this was his father's school records. Look at the grades for the first year in the academy. Naruto did as instructed and was amazed at what he saw. Chakra Control, D. Taijutsu Laughing Face. Ninjutsu Laughing Face. Genjutsu, F. Stealth Laughing Face. Weapons Laughing Face. My father's grades were really that bad? Your father wasn't a prodigy. He was a loser. Now, check the rest of the grades. Naruto did as instructed, only to become even more surprised. This can't be right. It says here that from the 2nd year in the academy onward he had an A rank in every single category except ninjutsu. He had an S rank in that. Your father's 2nd year in the academy was the year your mother moved to the village. That amazing turnaround in your father's grades was because of her. What do you mean? I remember your father told me about the first time he saw your mother. About how she loudly proclaimed that she would be the first female Hokage, and how when the other students made fun of her red hair she picked them up and tossed them out the window. He said he fell in love with her at first sight. At first he started studying to try and impress her. After they officially became a couple a few months later, she came to his house every day and they would study together. He handed Naruto the other folder. This one is my school record. Naruto opened it up and his jaw almost hit the floor. You had an F in every single category. Oh yes. I was the biggest loser of them all. I only went to the academy every other day. I spent most of my time playing hooky. It's a miracle I made Genin at all. Jiraiya stood up and looked straight at Naruto. Don't ever think that just because you aren't a prodigy that you can't become a great ninja. Naruto felt the fire in his stomach ignite and he jumped up ready to go. Let's go. I won't let this stupid summoning jutsu hold me down. I'm gonna be the greatest ninja who ever lived. It was the dawn of a new day and Naruto was on his way toward the training grounds Jiraiya had set up camp in. It had been 2 weeks since they started training and Naruto was finally going to begin learning the Rasengan. On his way there he noticed a square-shaped rock in his way with 2 big eye-sized holes in it. It was obviously another one of Konohamaru's less than stellar disguises. Naruto picked the fake rock up and tossed it behind him, revealing Konohamaru and 2 other kids his age. The 3 kids got into a formation and began reciting their names. Udon. A nerdy kid with glasses and a runny nose proclaimed. Moegi. A girl with red hair and rosy cheeks proclaimed. And I'm the leader, Konohamaru. Together we are the Konohamaru Corps. Sorry, Konohamaru. I can't play today. I'm going to go learn a new technique. I can't have any distractions. Naruto told the kids with a hint of disappointment in his voice. Ah! Then what are we supposed to do today? Konohamaru said solemnly. Go pull some pranks or something. That was my favorite thing to do on the weekends. I got to go. See ya. Naruto walked off, leaving the kids by themselves. Now what, Konohamaru? The girl of the group asked. You heard the man. I'm gonna show you guys the pranks that Naruto showed me. With that the kids left to prank the unsuspecting citizens of the Leaf Village. At the training grounds. Where's the old pervert? Naruto said out loud when he arrived at the training grounds. He spotted a note on the front of Jiraiya's tent and read it to himself. Gone to buy the supplies. I need to teach you the technique. Be back by noon. I left you a scroll of wind techniques to look at while I'm gone. It's in the tent by my bag. Naruto entered the tent and found the scroll. He opened it up and read aloud the contents. Basic wind chakra applications. Wind style is one of the most versatile elements in ninjutsu. The most common application of wind chakra is to form it into blades for cutting the opponent, but wind style is also a very strong support element. Wind masters can create strong currents of wind that can hinder enemy projectiles and assist friendly projectiles. Some shinobi have even been known to create winds strong enough to rival a tornado. Reading about the wind style got Naruto thinking. He knew a few basic wind style jutsu and could use them effectively in combat, but he never even considered how useful wind could be in a group fight. Naruto was a one-man army after all. His shadow clones could use wind style to help each other. He decided to try something out. He left the tent and summoned a shadow clone and instructed it to toss a kunai at a nearby tree. The kunai was embedded into the tree as it should have been. He then instructed it to do the same except channel some wind chakra into the blade. It did as instructed, and the next kunai was embedded even further into the tree. Naruto instructed the clone to throw one more chakra-enhanced kunai at a tree, and this time he blew a gust of wind from his mouth to try and accelerate the kunai. The kunai shattered the tree on impact, and the kunai flew into a rock, embedding itself into it. Whoa! Naruto and his clone jumped back, surprised at their own power. Impressive! A voice sounded behind Naruto. Naruto turned around to see who it was that managed to sneak up behind him. It was an elderly man covered head to toe in bandages. He looked like an old shinobi. His arm was in a sling, most likely injured beyond use in a mission. Who are you? Naruto asked. My name is of no importance. I was out for a casual stroll and just happened to see you practicing with the wind style. You don't see a lot of wind style users anymore. It's a rare affinity. I happen to know a few wind style jutsu myself. Let me give you an example. The old man pulled out a kunai and formed a chakra blade from it. He swung it and sent a blade of wind toward a tree, cutting it clean in half. Holy crap! Naruto couldn't believe his eyes. This old guy was insanely powerful. In my prime, I was considered one of the greatest wind-style shinobi in the world. The old man casually remarked. Mister, would you please teach me that technique? I've got the Chunin exams coming up in a few weeks. I would love nothing more than to pass on my teachings to the next generation, but I'm sorry to say that I can't teach a boy from another village. Oh, I understand. Naruto said with a look of sadness on his face. Perhaps if you were to come to me wearing a leaf headband, I may change my mind. Think about it, child. I could make you one of the greats. The man began to walk away. Naruto, this guy isn't what he seems. Check his chakra. Naruto did as instructed and was bewildered at what he felt. What the hell is this guy? He has a dozen different chakra signatures. It's like he's a bunch of different people rolled into one. During the last war, all the villages were experimenting with gene splicing. I think this guy is a remnant of that. What's gene splicing? Giving the natural abilities of one being to another being. Say for example there was a shinobi with a bloodline ability that gave him immunity to all poisons. With gene splicing you can take that ability and give it to another ninja. That sounds an awful lot like what the snake tried to do to me. That's because it's exactly what he tried to do to you. Gene splicing was made illegal after the Third War because of how dangerous it was. Very few people can survive the splicing process. The fact that the old man just now is still alive is a testament to his power. No kidding. He may be an old cripple, but that guy is a lot stronger than I am now. So strong I almost missed the genjutsu he tried on you. Wait, what? Why the hell wasn't that the first thing you told me? I would have told him to fuck off. That's exactly why I didn't tell you. I wanted to see what the old bastard wanted. He's obviously trying to convince you to stay in this village. The genjutsu he attempted was a subtle persuasion jutsu. You would have been putty in his hands and not even realized it. He's going to have to do a lot more than try some stupid genjutsu and show me some cool wind attack if he wants me to leave my friends and family. Speaking of family, the asshole is coming. We're finally going to learn the Rasengan. Jiraiya showed up right on time with 3 bags full of different kinds of balls. I can see you were enjoying that wind scroll I left you. Now let's get to the real fun stuff. He tossed a water balloon toward Naruto, who caught it. There are 3 steps to master if you want to perform the Rasengan. First is rotation. With Hinata. Again. Neji commanded. Tenten launched a barrage of weapons toward Hinata, who expertly blocked them all with the rotation. When she stopped the technique, she fell over breathing heavy. It seems your meager chakra reserves limit the amount of times you can perform the rotation. You must be careful not to overuse the technique. Neji told Hinata with an emotionless voice. We shall break for lunch now. Meet me back here in an hour and we will drill the 8 trigrams, Neji said as he turned to leave. Ko, who was overseeing the training, went over to Hinata and helped her up. Lady Hinata, you are truly excelling. Your father wasn't even able to master the rotation so fast. Thank you, Ko. Hinata said as she stood up. Tenten, would you like to go have lunch with me? I would enjoy your company. Hinata asked the older girl, who nodded. The two walked off together hand in hand. With the Konohamaru core. I'm tired of looking Konohamaru. Just pick someone to prank already. The girl Moegi yelled. I'm tired too. The boy Udon added in. Be patient, guys. Naruto told me that the first rule to being a good prankster is to find the right mark. Aha! See that couple, they're holding hands? That's the kind of mark I was looking for. Konohamaru, those are 2 girls. Udon commented, obviously too young to know that people have varying sexual preferences. Just because 2 people are holding hands doesn't mean that they are a couple, Konohamaru. You're so dumb sometimes. Moegi said, annoyed. Just shut up and watch the master at work. Konohamaru jumped down and transformed into his own version of the sexy jutsu. It wasn't as good as Naruto's, who spent years trying to create the most universally appealing girl possible, but it was good enough for a rookie like Konohamaru. This version had long brown hair instead of the blonde pigtails, but it had relatively the same measurements of the original. The female Konohamaru had on a tight blue tube top and white short shorts. Konohamaru stepped out of the alley in front of the 2 walking girls and began walking in the opposite direction of the 2. He made eye contact with the taller of the 2 and winked. He didn't get the reaction he expected. The girl he winked at winked back and made a kissy face for a second. The blue-haired girl walking next to her didn't even care. Konohamaru walked into an alley and dispelled his jutsu. He then joined his friends on the rooftops to watch the girls' reactions. That girl was a real cutie, wasn't she, Hinata? I suppose so, Tenten. Her clothes were pretty shameless though. Yeah, but it shows confidence, which I love in a girl. Hell, if you were a little more confident, I'd be all over you too. But Yeah, I know. You like guys. I don't know what you see in those big hairy apes anyway. You aren't exactly the kind of person who should be talking about guys. The only men in your life, besides your dad, are 2 crazy workout addicts and a robot. Did you just make a joke? Who are you, and what have you done with Hinata? The 2 friends laughed and continued their walk. Meanwhile, Konohamaru was kneeling down with tears streaming down his face. I have failed, my master. I don't deserve to be the pupil of the great prank king Naruto. Drama queen, Moegi said. It was the night before the exam finals, and the mysterious silver-haired boy Kabuto was standing atop a building in the village. He was soon joined by the Jonin sensei of the 3 Sand Genin taking the exam. Baki. How nice of you to join me. Cut the small talk, Kabuto. What do you want? I'm just here to inform you of the plan for tomorrow. Spit it out already. What happened that caused your boss to change the plans so suddenly? 2 things. The first is that there is an incredibly powerful sensory ninja in this village. Orochimaru doesn't want to risk exposing himself early, so instead of hiding within the village he set it up so that he will appear via summoning jutsu performed by one of his most trusted men. The second thing is that the legendary Jiraiya is here. He wants your men who are performing the snake summoning outside the village to keep him preoccupied and away from the Shikaku. Jiraiya is one of the few men who is capable of stopping it. I'll make sure to brief my people on the changes to the plan. Is that all? Yes. Then all that's left is to take care of our little eavesdropper. The sound of someone scrambling away at top speed could be heard as the man who was spying on the 2 ran for his life. I'll take care of it, Kabuto stated. No. I'll take him out. Consider it a show of good faith. I appreciate the gesture, but it's been so long since I've had an opportunity to kill. I'm sorry to say I must decline, Kabuto said right before he jumped away to follow the spy. Crazy kid, Baki commented as he left. The next day. Naruto. Hey, Naruto. I don't think he can hear you, big brother. Screw this. The sleeping form of Naruto was startled awake by a torrent of ice-cold water bombarding his face. Who, what, when, where, why, how? The boy yelled as he took in his surroundings. Finally. We've been trying to wake you up for 10 minutes already. The orange toad, Gamakichi, explained to Naruto. Gamakichi? And Gamatatsu too. What are you guys doing here? Jiraiya told us to wake you up so you wouldn't be late to the Chunin exam finals. The Chunin exam finals? I gotta go now. Naruto took off in the opposite direction of the arena where the finals were to be held. Big brother, I think we should go after him. The yellow toad, Gamatatsu, suggested. Give it a minute. The orange toad responded. After a few seconds, Naruto could be seen in the distance running back toward the 2 toads. Yo, dumbass. The finals don't start for another 2 hours. Gamakichi yelled at Naruto, who stopped in front of the 2. Why didn't you guys tell me that? Where the hell is Jiraiya? 1. You ran off before we could. 2. He said something about running an errand and left us to wake you up and get you ready. Come on, we have to get some food in you and get you in a bath. The 2 toads jumped onto Naruto's shoulders and the 3 left the training grounds. With Hinata. Hinata stood in front of her mirror staring at herself. She had spent the past month of her life training and she felt confidence like she has never felt before. A knock came at the door and Hinata left the mirror to open it. Her younger sister Hanabi was there. Sis, Niji is waiting for you. Thank you, dear. Hinata placed a soft kiss on her younger sister's forehead and walked away. Hinata! Hanabi yelled at her sister's back. Yes? Hinata asked as she turned around. Go kick some butt. Hanabi held out a thumbs up. I intend to. Hinata smiled and walked away to find Niji, who was standing by the gate to leave the compound. Hinata, are you ready? The stoic boy asked. Yes. Hinata replied with confidence. Good. Go make the clan proud. Niji. Thank you for all of your help. Hinata put her arms around Niji in a hug, stunning the usually stone-faced boy. After a few seconds, he returned the hug. Make me proud today, little sister. In the hospital, the 3rd Hokage stood over the beaten and bandaged form of one of his ninja. The clipboard in front of his bed revealed his name to be Heiei Gecko. Suddenly a purple-haired woman in Anbu gear barged in the room. Lord Hokage. What happened to Heiei? Calm yourself. Hayate is in bad shape, but he will recover. He was found unconscious on a rooftop this morning. He was rendered unconscious by a powerful sleeping agent, then had his wrists and jaw broken. He should awake sometime in the next few days. I don't understand. Why break his wrists and jaw? To keep him from being able to communicate in case he woke up, perhaps? That would be my guess. Perhaps Hayate learned something that someone didn't want known. Then why not just kill him? Why would they leave him alive? I don't know. It is a strange situation, indeed. In any case, I'm going to assign you to guard Hayate for the duration of his hospital visit. I'm sure he'll be grateful that when he wakes up the first face that he'll see will be yours. The old man gave the woman a smile. Thank you, Lord Hokage. You don't need to mention it, Yuga. With Naruto. As Naruto and his two-toed companions reached the arena, the two brothers jumped off of Naruto's shoulders. This is where we leave you, Naruto. Jiraiya said that summons are legal in this tournament, so don't be afraid to call for help if you need it. I'll keep that in mind, Gamikichi. Thank you and Gamitatsu for helping me get ready. You don't need to mention it, Naruto. Just kick some ass out there. The two toads teleported back to their home and Naruto walked into the arena. He met up with his team in the main entranceway and his sister was beyond not happy with him. She ran over and snatched his ear in her hand. And where the hell were you last night? Do you have any idea how worried I was? I'm sorry, sis. I fell asleep training. I promise it won't happen again. For your sake, it better not. Yugito let go of Naruto's ear and pulled him into a big hug. Do you have any idea how much I worry about you? Sis, you're embarrassing me. People are staring at us. Let them stare. A few people could be heard whispering things like, Mama's boy, as Yugito continued to hug Naruto. Kurama, help me out here. No. What do you mean no? I think it's sweet. Just shut up and deal with it. Or would you rather be alone again like all those years ago? Those words struck a chord with Naruto. He put his arms around his big sister and hugged her back. I'm sorry for making you worry, sis. Apology accepted. Sorry to break up this tender moment, but me and Naruto have to go meet up with the rest of the competitors. Karui said. The two broke their hug. Before you go, let me just say that I'm proud of you both for coming this far. I know you'll both do great. Thanks, sis. Thank you, sensei. The two made their way to the middle of the arena while the rest of their team went up to the stands to find a place to sit. Yugito and Omoi found a nice place in the front row. There was conveniently an extra seat next to Yugito, which was soon filled. Iruka walked up and greeted the two before sitting down next to Yugito. Can these two at least pretend to not be banging when they're in public? Omoi thought. With the Hokage. As the Hokage sat in his chair overlooking the arena, he was soon joined by the Kazekage. Ah, Lord Kazekage, I'm glad you could make it. The Hokage extended his hand to the Kazekage, but the Kazekage denied the gesture. The Kazekage wore similar robes and hat to the Hokage, but he also wore a face mask concealing his face from view. I'm very sorry, Lord Hokage, but I seem to have been stricken with a sickness. I wouldn't want to pass on my misfortune to you. I hope you understand. Of course, Lord Kazekage. It happens to the best of us. The Kazekage sat down and began conversing with the Hokage. Will the Raikage be attending this event? No. He has decided to send his younger brother. Apparently Lord B wanted to come see his favorite student compete and he didn't want both of them to be gone at the same time. Yeah. A voice could be heard coming closer to the two. I believe that's him right now. Killer Bee came into view on the balcony and sat down on the opposite side of the Hokage. What's up? You're as free-spirited as ever, Lord B. The Hokage casually commented. Lord Hokage, I've been informed that all the competitors have arrived and are ready to begin. One of the Hokage's ninja whispered into his ear. Excellent. Tell Genma to begin immediately. The ninja disappeared with the message, and soon after the proctor for the exam and all the competitors walked out onto the field. The Hokage stood up and began his opening speech. Ah, come on. Do we really have to listen to the old man give another speech? Just ignore it. It'll probably be another boring talk about the importance of international brotherhood or some other such crap. I want to get to the fights already. That Lee guy is super strong and I've been wanting to fight him since the preliminaries. That reminds me. Naruto, what are you going to do if you have to fight the girl? I've been giving that a lot of thought. I'm going to respect her as a shinobi and treat her like I would any other fight. You're gonna use the fight as an excuse to feel her up, aren't you? No. Don't bullshit me. I know when you're lying. You're going to use the wrestling techniques Bee taught you as an excuse to get up close and grapple with her. You always assume the worst of me. And I'm usually right. Shut up. I think the old man is done. So without further ado, let the Chunin exam finals commence. The proctor for the exam turned toward the competitors. Naruto, Uzumaki and Rock Lee, please stay here and wait for your match to begin. The rest of you walk up to the catwalk on your left and wait. Everyone did as they were told. I suspect this will be a great match, Lee said to Naruto as they waited for the signal for them to start. Yeah. Whatever happens, let the best man win. Ready? Start. Elsewhere. We're late. I told you not to stop at that liquor store. The matches have probably started already. Calm down. I'm sure it'll be fine. Well, I just don't want to miss any of Naruto's matches. He's the only reason we came here. Look, the arena is right over there. Come on, Shizune. Lady Tsunade. Wait for me. Ready? Start. Naruto and Lee charged at each other. They met each other in the middle of the arena and began bombarding each other with devastating punches. Those two are both close-range brawlers. They'll probably be at this for a while. Shikamaru commented to Ino. If we're lucky, they'll tire each other out. I wouldn't want to fight either of those guys at full power. Ino commented back to her teammate. The two continued bombarding each other with punches until Lee got the upper hand. He dodged one of Naruto's more zealous punches by ducking low and kicking Naruto straight into the air. Naruto was sent flying and Lee appeared behind him. Dancing Leaf Shadow. It didn't work when the Uchiha used it, and it won't work now. Naruto began building up air in his stomach in an attempt to counter the Dancing Leaf Shadow as he did before. Once he was ready to blow, Lee disappeared from behind Naruto. Shocked, Naruto exhaled and was sent crashing down to the ground with his own technique. Lee had tricked him by bailing out of the Dancing Leaf Shadow at the last second. Did you really think I wouldn't have learned from the Uchiha's mistake? Lee casually commented to Naruto, who was struggling to stand back up. Meanwhile, in the stand, Sasuke was furious. He was sitting in between Sakura and Kakashi. He was gritting his teeth and clenching his fists. That should be me down there. If it wasn't for that stupid perverted jutsu, I would be the one fighting Lee. Sakura slapped Sasuke in the back of the head. Quit sulking and just enjoy the fight. Sakura scolded. Yes, ma'am. She's got him whipped now. Kakashi thought. Back with the fight, Naruto was standing up again. You tricked me good with that one, but it's gonna take a lot more than that to stop me. Naruto said. I wouldn't have it any other way. Lee said with a smile. Shadow Clone Jutsu. 10 Narutos appeared and they all surrounded Lee. They all rushed in at the same time, but Lee stood his ground and began dispelling the clones one at a time. Naruto used the momentary distraction to begin setting up for a big offensive maneuver. First, he summoned 2 more shadow clones. One of them grabbed the real Naruto and began spinning around in a circle. After building up enough momentum, he tossed the real Naruto, and the other clone performed the Grand Gust Jutsu to accelerate the thrown Naruto. Naruto produced 2 chakra chains from his hands and began spinning, covering his body all over in the chains. Naruto had turned his own body into a deadly projectile. When Lee had finally dispelled all of the clones and noticed Naruto's new attack, it was already too late for him to dodge. He did the only thing he could think of and opened the first gate. Using his newfound strength, he delivered an earth-shaking punch that sent Naruto flying backwards into the arms of his 2 clones. Both young genin were becoming exhausted. Lee may have stopped Naruto's attack, but his arm took a lot of damage in their exchange as well. Naruto was likewise feeling the effects of Lee's punch. Gotta keep on the offensive, Naruto thought. Naruto's clones rushed at Lee while the real one jumped for an aerial attack. Lee quickly dispelled the 2 clones with well-placed kunai and jumped to meet Naruto in the air. They each went for a flying jump kick. As the 2 met midair, their feet came crashing into each other's groins, and the 2 fell down to the ground holding their most vulnerable parts. Ha 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 ha. Those idiots nut-checked each other. Ha 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 ha. Kiba howled with laughter from his seat in the stands with Kurenai and Shino. That's my teammate, Karui said with embarrassment evident in her voice. Don't laugh. It's not funny. Don't laugh, Hinata thought right before she began giggling uncontrollably. They're dumbass, Shikamaru said aloud. Was I really worried about fighting one of these clowns? Ino commented. I don't get it. What's so bad about getting hit there? Gaara said. Gaara had never experienced physical pain before, so of course he wouldn't understand the pain of being hit in the groin. The 2 fighters struggled to get back to their feet. Naruto, this isn't looking good. I think you should use the summoning jutsu to get some reinforcements. No. This is one of the toughest guys I've ever fought. I'm not going to take the coward's way out and ask for help. Idiot human. To hell with your pride, we have to win. We're the only ones who can handle the Shikaku. Or did you forget that we fight him next? Don't fool yourself into thinking Karui has even the slightest chance against him. Just shut the hell up. Shadow Clone Jutsu. Naruto summoned an army of clones that filled almost the entire arena. 'Cause that jutsu has worked flawlessly so far. I said shut up. The army of clones rushed at Lee, who began defending himself. After a whole 5 minutes of action, the army was destroyed and both of the young genin were breathing heavy. If I use any more of the gates, my body will be too worn out to fight again. I must conserve my strength, Lee thought. I refuse to use summons or Kurama's chakra. If I can't beat this guy with my own strength, then I don't want to win. You're a fool, Naruto. Don't come crying to me when you lose this match. I won't be losing. I've got a plan. I wanted to save this for Gaara, but I'm gonna have to use it now. Naruto began building up his chakra. His body became surrounded in an aura of chakra. At first the aura was blue, but as he kept building it up it turned white and the air around Naruto became violent as if it was in a tornado. Oh! That technique! The Hokage said, stunned. The kid actually did it. He copied my brother's technique and now he's straight pimpin'. Be rapt, proud of his student. It's true what they say about Killer Bee. The man is a terrible rapper. Were the Kazekage's only thoughts. It's time to end this, Naruto proclaimed. Lee stood, smiling. I've heard of the Raikage's special technique, but to actually fight someone with their own version of it is an honor. I must return the favor by honoring you with my full strength. Lee sat down and began taking off his boots. He revealed weighted training gear hidden in them and casually tossed them aside. They created enormous craters in the ground that shocked everyone in the stands. Lee got into his fighting stance and the 2 young warriors disappeared in a flash. Their speed was unbelievable. Only some of the most experienced shinobi in the stands could keep up with them. The two clashed repeatedly with Lee getting the worst of it. Naruto's aura of wind chakra didn't just enhance his speed but it protected his body. This is it. Naruto kicked Lee up into the air. Dancing leaf shadow, Naruto yelled as he began covering Lee with chakra chains. Naruto slammed Lee into the ground head first and landed not too far away. He let his aura dissipate and fell to his knees exhausted. That was the best fight ever, Naruto said while trying to catch his breath. Lee was in a crater in the ground, knocked for a loop. Grandma? Can I have the curry of life, Grandma? I've been a good boy, Lee said in a daze. I think that's enough. The winner of the match is Naruto Uzumaki, the proctor announced. There was a lukewarm applause and Naruto walked off irritated. They could have cheered better than that. What do you expect? This crowd is full of mostly Leaf, Ninja, and civilians. You're the equivalent of the foreign heel in a wrestling match. Now that I think about it, you're right. Shoot, I hate not being the babyface. Beats being a jobber. As Naruto was walking up the steps to the balcony where the other contestants watched the match, he passed by Gaara on his way up. I'm going to kill your friend, Gaara casually commented to Naruto as he passed by. Naruto stopped dead in his tracks and had to restrain himself from attacking Gaara on the spot. Karui wasn't far behind and saw the two's interaction. As she passed by Naruto, he grabbed her by the wrist to stop her. Don't die out there, he whispered to her. Don't worry about me. If things get too hairy out there, I'll forfeit. Karui began walking away before she stopped. Wait, I forgot something. She turned around and kicked Naruto straight in the groin. Don't think I didn't notice you grabbing my ass, perverted motherfucker. Karui turned and walked off for real this time. But I didn't grab her ass, Naruto said aloud as he held his aching groin. At least not this time, he added in his mind. As Naruto struggled to stand up, he heard giggling and looked up the stairs to see Hinata and the Nara boy standing at the top of the stairs. There, we pranked him. Can I go back to the top now? Yes. Thank you, Shikamaru. The wheels began turning in Naruto's head and he realized that Hinata must have asked the Nara boy to use his shadow to touch Karui's rear right as they passed by so she would think it was Naruto. That's not funny, Naruto yelled at the giggling girl. You're right. It was hilarious. Hinata began laughing uncontrollably. With Lee. Lee was in the infirmary surrounded by his team when he woke up. Tenten put her hands on Lee's shoulder, expecting him to need consoling after his loss. It's ironic, isn't it? Lee said as he sat up. What do you mean? Niji questioned. I finally defeated you, Niji, only to lose to another stronger than both of us. Lee began smiling and stuck up his thumb in the nice guy pose. It only goes to show that we must double our efforts to improve. Guy Sensei began crying in the comical way he does. Lee, your sportsmanship is exceptional. Guy Sensei. Lee. The two began hugging and Niji and Tenten left the room to let the two have their moment. Now do you understand why I don't like men? Tenten asked Niji as they walked back to their seats. Do me a favor and end my life if I ever become like those two, Niji said with complete seriousness. The two walked by the bathrooms as two teenage girls walked out. Tenten felt like she recognized one of them but quickly brushed it off, thinking she must have just seen her around town. When they were out of earshot of the other group, the two teenagers started whispering to each other. The boy has certainly improved his skills since we saw him last time. Hopefully the idiot doesn't end up getting hurt like he did back then, the blonde girl said. I'm sure he'll be fine. I heard some people talking and that Lee boy is Mike Guy's star pupil. If he can handle that, then I'm sure Naruto can handle anything, the black-haired one said. Wanna make a bet on it, Shizune? Lady Tsunade. You promised no gambling while we were here. Shh. Lower your voice. What was the point in transforming into teenagers if you blow our cover by yelling like that? Meanwhile, the second match of the tournament was about to begin. Karui and Gaara were staring each other down and waiting for the go-ahead from the proctor. Ready? Begin. Karui immediately unsheathed her sword and charged at Gaara. She began slashing wildly at him, but each time the sand from his gourd would block the attack. After getting tired of wasting her energy on futile sword attacks, she backed off and began preparing her ninjutsu. Fire-style Flame Tongue Jutsu. She spat a stream of fire onto her sword as she did in the preliminaries. She held out her sword and sent a concentrated blast of fire toward Gaara. The sand formed around him and protected him from harm. Getting angry, Karui began preparing another fire jutsu. Fire-style Flame Carpet Jutsu. She spat a stream of fire on the ground this time and it surrounded Gaara. With a wave of his hand, the sand covered and extinguished the flames. Oh fuck this. Karui began building up all of her chakra for one big jutsu. She was putting all of her hope on this one move. Meanwhile, in the stands, this girl sure has a lot of fire jutsu. Hey Kakashi-sensei, do you know any of those jutsu? Sakura asked. When she didn't get an answer, she looked to her side and noticed both her teammate and their sensei focusing on the girl with their Sharingans active. Did you say something, Sakura? Kakashi asked while keeping his gaze fixed on Karui. I should have figured these two would be hard at work stealing this girl's techniques. Fucking Sharingan. Sakura thought as she turned her attention back to the fight. Karui was flashing through her hand signs. The amount of chakra she was molding was visible in an aura around her. Fire-style Rainbow Inferno Jutsu. Karui blew a blast of multicolored fire out of her mouth that covered Gaara and the entire area around him in beautiful rainbow-colored flames. If she's using that attack, she must really desperate. Naruto said aloud on the competitor's balcony. So pretty. Hinata and Ino said aloud together. That's why she hates this move. Karui is just about the biggest tomboy in the world. She hates pretty stuff like rainbows. She thinks if she uses this technique that people won't take her seriously. The ironic thing is that the Rainbow Inferno Jutsu is one of the strongest fire jutsu in the world. Naruto explained to the girls. Meanwhile, at the infirmary. Are you sure that you're okay to be moving, Lee? Guy asked his favorite student. Of course, Guy-sensei. Now let us go and watch the rest of the matches. Back with the fight. When the jutsu was complete, Karui began breathing heavy and could barely stand up. Used too much chakra, she managed to say in between gasps for air. Are you done? Karui froze with fear at the voice coming from behind her. She slowly turned around to see Gaara materializing from sand behind her. He had managed to dodge her attack. No! I quit. She stammered out at the proctor. Okay, that's enough. The winner of the match is Gaara. The match is only over when my sand has absorbed every single drop of blood from this girl's frail little body. Gaara's sand began covering Karui and lifting her into the air. That's enough, Gaara. If you kill this girl now after she quit, you'll be disqualified. The proctor tried to reason with the insane boy to no avail. I got to get out there. Naruto prepared to jump down and save Karui, but suddenly Gaara's sand coffin that was encasing Karui was blown apart and Karui was gone. Do you have no honor? Attacking an opponent who has already submitted is the shameless act of a coward. Karui was being held in the arms of Rock Lee, who came out of the infirmary just in time to see Karui quit and Gaara's attack on her. You dare interfere? Fine, I'll kill you too. Gaara raised his hand about to send his sand to attack them, only to be stopped by the Kazekage appearing before him. The two said nothing to each other. They just stared into each other's eyes. After a few seconds, Gaara relented and sealed his sand back into his gourd. He walked away as if nothing happened. I must apologize for my son's behavior. He can be very difficult to handle sometimes. The Kazekage apologized to everyone and went back to his seat with the Hokage and Bee. "You are safe now," Lee said as he put Karui back on her feet. Karui just stared at him, a blush barely visible on her face. "Thanks, I guess. Goodbye." She planted a quick peck on Lee's cheek and ran off. The crowd gave a collective ah, and Lee was left speechless, blushing and holding his cheek where Karui kissed him. "Fuck. I owe Naruto $100. Karui isn't a lesbian after all." Omoy thought as he sulked about how light his wallet was about to become. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, comment down below and let me know. Also share this video with your friends. I have created a playlist of this what if where you guys can find all the parts. See you in the next video.